This is a quarterfinal match. In the blue gi, Willis Nunes of Checkmat. In the white gi, Meyram Maquine of DreamArt. Meyram, one of the most exciting young up-and-coming black belts, competing here in general across the sort of the international scene, but especially here at the World Championships. I think a lot of people are excited to see what he can do here in his first World Championships as a black belt. But he's going to have to take on the very tough, very durable Willis Nunes of Checkmat in the blue gi. Immediately going through into this open guard position, working this lasso in. Now we watched Meyram in his color belt ranks. We kept a close eye on him coming up through the divisions, and very aggressive, very fast, very dynamic. And we remember one in Europe hands. I think he finished 5 matches in the combined time of about 5 minutes. So he's a finisher as well when he wants to be. Had some success on the super fight circuit in Brazil recently too, earning a very impressive win against Thiago Barros on a super fight down there. And so he's got what it takes to take on the older generation.
It's a really interesting use of like such a deep lasso, almost into like a closed guard with the lasso. And when the lasso goes that deep, where the shin is all the way across the back, it really locks the person on top, their left side of their body, into your leg, making it really, really hard to move and also very easy to off balance them. So kind of opts to go, a little bit looser now, but has the opportunity whenever he needs to shoot that right leg all the way through, or go to a double lasso like we see here. And with a double lasso position, it's kind of tricky to decide if you want to stay on your knees or on your feet. If you go on your feet, you have a little bit more more mobility. But because it's hard to keep your posture with a double lasso, it's dangerous to stand up because your head can dive right down where it's not where you want it to be. So sometimes keep your hips back a little bit, and that's what we're seeing here.
Yeah, switch the lasso to the other side now. Has that lasso on with his left leg. Dexterous guard play.
Toriano style passing here on the top. But it's, even though those positions can look like really dramatic and, really exciting, like, oh man, he, almost got past the guard, we have to remember with the lasso still so deep in on the left side, it's for the person on bottom, or for, when you're playing in that position, you don't feel very threatened by it, even though it looks really dramatic and it's a big movement to get past that one leg, because that left leg still keeps them anchored to you. Another similar style. And the control of the leg with the left hand is beautiful, but what we have to do on the top here is figure out how to undo the lasso by closing that right elbow, maybe walking to the right side. But that's difficult with the spider grip on the left arm, because if you go too far to your right to undo the lasso, then the spider can help sweep you in the same direction. Your partner just kind of helps to help you along in the momentum or the direction you're already going.
I think anybody who's ever trained Jiu-Jitsu has probably at some point dealt or Googled how to deal with the lasso guard, because it is such a frustrating position to get caught and get locked into. It's a very, very taxing position to be stuck in, because there's so much that can happen to you, and it's so difficult to extract yourself from, right? It's a powerful control position for the person on bottom.
Yeah, and the thing about...
wait, sorry to cut you off. Kind of look at this. I see the way now that Nunes' left hand is on the mat, that Meyram has a deep overhook, and not only that, he's passed his right hand through into the far side collar. He has a pretty solid attacking position here. The lasso seemed to have been simply a diversionary tactic. Now he's going high onto the neck. Look for him to angle out, create pressure on the neck there. He's got a solid cross-collar choke grip, but could shoot his right leg high and over the top into a possible oberplatter series. He has tons of options here.
Yeah, once you have that arm over wrap this way, it makes it really, really difficult to regain the posture. And not only regain the posture, but even just to break these grips. And so he can go into the choke, he can go into some sweeps from here, he can go a little bit like inverted and go into almost a side guard. And if he uses his left knee to crunch that shoulder, his right knee to crunch the shoulder down, like you said, there's omoplata options as well. And of course some triangles here. If the left leg can come around that right arm, we have some triangles from this position we see very often. And, you know, once we're in this position with 5 minutes left in the match, this is, for the person on top, exhausting to try to get out of safely because there's just so many areas of danger. Nice, see kind of
now
a high
that right
guard
arm's in
here.
danger. You see Meyram going high here, that
Having a
omoplata
omoplata.
attack, but Nunes manages to posture up out of danger and back into a better position from which to pass. But look at this, immediately Meyram uses the guard to flip Nunes over, and he could come out on the back here.
Nunes for a second looked like he was going to go for a leg attack, but opted to turn back in and keep passing instead.
Bulldozing forward now. His left leg is stuck into like almost single leg X guard position. Meyram double sleeve grips.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised. I thought there might be an advantage for the choke, but it depends on the referee's opinion on how much the opponent had to defend the choke.
Well, it needs to be a legit submission threat, right?
Yes.
You can hold on to the position, and it may look like a submission, but the referee knows, is the guy, you know, is he having
Are
trouble
you forced
breathing?
to defend?
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's really what it comes down to. So sometimes you see athletes purposely not defend submissions and kind of ride it out.
Give up the advantage.
And they don't want to give up the advantage, right?
That poker face comes in handy.
Yes, it's a difficult thing to do. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, you'll see the theatrics, you'll see a big show to get the advantages. But the nice thing about our referees is they're experienced, they're well versed, they know the angles needed to finish submissions, of course, and they can see the signs. So they're pretty knowledgeable when it comes to that. So this is an interesting like single leg X position with a spider grip as well, which makes it really, really difficult to come up on top when that foot is in your bicep. And only about 3 minutes left to go. Nothing on the board yet. This will be a big 2-point score here. Yeah, big, big sweep for Alves. And with 3 minutes left, you know, this is a big, big lead. But at the same time, for Nunes on the bottom, if he can sweep back, and we see a lot of sweep battles in these weight classes, people go back and forth pretty quickly, then he's right back in the game. So big back step here from Alves. Kind of switches it to more of a smash pass. He has his right knee coming through for like a knee slice. But and the right hand on the collar, with Alves' work on the collar grip, was helping anchor Nunes down, but without the underhook made it really, really difficult to get to the pass, and now into a big re-pull. Very strategic here, right? Because this is where he wants to be to score from. And so he scores, he stands up, and he puts himself right back in the same position again, where he obviously feels very confident to score from again, with 2 minutes left in the match. And again on the same side, Lasso. I like his use of switching between Lasso, Lasso Spider, double Lasso, and Lasso with the close guard, because like we were saying earlier, sometimes Lasso can be a bit of a stally game because it kind of locks both people into each other. But if you're switching between Lasso, Spider Lasso, Lasso with De La Hiva, Lasso with the close guard, double Lasso, if you're switching between those often to off-balance your partner and keep them moving from side to side in different directions, then it becomes a very active, very dangerous position that opens up sweeps and submissions. And that's what we've definitely seen from Alves today. About 120, still holding on to that 2-point lead. Pulls Nunes into the close guard. And Nunes knows he needs there's no time to waste at this point. He would need a big pass or a back take to win, since he is in the top position. Although this is a better position now for him, now driving his left knee in. You have to be careful though, because we can get this little tilt sweep here, and Alves will, and he'll come up on top. It's a scary thing with that popping the knee through. It can be a beautiful thing to lead you to a knee cut, but it can also get you stuck if your opponent knows how to tilt your hips to the side.
4-0 lead now with less than a minute for Meyram Maquine of Dream Arts, and in a very solid control position here now. This low half guard. We see that Nunes is trying to fish for the lapel and possibly pass it through the legs, but Meyram doing a very good job of using double sleeve grips to control where Willis is able to put his hands, and You know, that if you're in this position, you want to get an underhook. You want to get an underhook, or you want to get your arm around the leg. And Meyram's actually using double sleeve grips and deny Nunes those grips.
Well, this is much better than when he came on top before. When he came on top before, he allowed Nunes to get the underhook, and that's why he was. They came back up to their feet, and he re-pulled rather than going through to the pass. 5 seconds left. We do have Nunes in on a single leg here on the very end of the mat. And a big throw almost by Alves. He'll take the 4-0 win with those two two-point scores for sweeps. And into the semifinals of this black belt division. He will face Pato, is that right? He said he's lined up for the semis with Pato.
And on mat number 1, the adult male black belt light featherweight quarterfinal, representing Jiu-Jitsu methods, Rene Lopez, and representing Alianza, Ram Amanda. And on mat number 3, advancing to the light feather semi-final, representing Dream Art, Meyram.
Big win for Dream Art here. Officially has their first world medalist guaranteed heading into the semifinals in the light feather division. Here's some highlights.
Going high there, you can see that deep overhook. Willis Nunes was able to posture up out of it. The guard work from Meyram Maquine was really the decisive factor in this match. The sweeps that he actually scored were relatively simple when you think about them, but hey, points on the board are points on the board. That's what matters, right?
Yeah, and a lot of times with these intricate matches, it's the simplicity that makes the difference.